Hello, my name is Kurt Vickman, and I'm the CEO and founder of Good Grocer. So I think at the very heart of Good Grocer, we are a volunteer-powered grocery store that is on a mission to help people better afford food. And we do that through a group of 500 volunteers who operate every single aspect of Good Grocer. And what I love about the volunteers is that they are an incredibly diverse group of people with different gifts and different abilities all coming together to run a grocery store at a high level. And what that does is that lowers our operational costs. So volunteers lower our operational costs. And then we're able to take those savings and pass them on to the volunteers in the form of a 20% discount on all their food. So instead of something being a handout, we're trying to give people a hand up as it relates to having them participate in a system of empowerment. They contribute to it, and therefore they get to benefit. And so for me, at the heartbeat of this entire thing is trying to get a group of volunteers, often who are overlooked, underestimated, and bring them into an empowerment system where we can harness their latent potential, their gifting, to kind of create a store that is unlike any other as it relates to trying to bring this group of people together to operate a grocery store. And as we do that, everyone gets to benefit from not only the community that's created, but the lowering of food prices and the accessibility to better, healthier food for everyone. The thing that surprises me the most, that I guess shouldn't surprise me, is just how many amazingly good people there are in the world that have walked through our doors. And I've seen person after person walk through the doors, and I'm continuously blown away by how many good people there are in the world and what they're willing to contribute to something for the good of the other. Biggest thing that St. John's taught me would be this idea of how important kind of community is in the context of a liberal arts education. The sense of you going to class is not just about academics, but it's about something bigger than that. The application of the knowledge that you're learning into the world is something that I always felt was present at St. John's. And so I think kind of moving beyond the walls of that place, the application of all of the conversation and the community that was created in that place it was just natural to see the world as something that you were called into to impact, because you saw it from the Benedictine values and the monks. You saw it with co-workers and service trips and people going all around the world, really, to kind of be a force for good in the world. And I think that's what I love about St. John's, is that there is a deep sense of the commitment to the common good. There have been so many hurdles that have been put in front of me, from supply chain hurdles to personnel hurdles to financial hurdles. And looking back over the past 5 years, there have been moments where I have sat down talking to, whether it's my wife or someone on our board, and question whether it was worth it. That moment where it's like, can I continue on? And I heard a quote by someone once that said, walls are there to keep others out who don't want it as badly as you do. And so I think for me, it's been the wall that comes up in front of me and typical entrepreneurs, and the ability to try and persist around it, over it, through it, because they're all over the place. And I think this idea of persistence to what is the mission. And so I think that's why entrepreneurs need to have that kind of burning, red hot sense of what the mission is. And it's got to come from the deepest place in them, because it's the very thing that's going to keep pressing you forward when those hurdles present themselves. One of the simple words that I think guides and is a stabilizing word at Good Grocer is this simple but powerful word, good. And there's a little piece of the scriptures that talks about, let us be a force for good. And so for me, my mantra has always been, let me move, let us move into the world to be a force for good in the world, with the emphasis on the word good. You know, I think each entrepreneur is on their own journey, but I guess if I were to say one thing to them, it would be think through the good that their company can do in the world as they develop it, right? Because I think there is no doubt that, you know, we want to kind of be successful financially, we want to be successful in impact, but also we want to be strategic as it relates to how this company that we're creating and culture and in its presence in the world can make a difference.